Libby and Coach Holmes. And I would not have crossed paths if it weren't for McMury. And the blessings they have been in my life are just amazing. I am beyond grateful for the people I met, the opportunities that were provided, and a wonderful college experience McMury offered both on and off the court. And I'm thankful to be back on campus today for this special occasion among the people that made McMury so special for me. Alakumba.
Cheyenne, Oldham, Wuthrich. Women's track and field. Resetting the bar is something Wuthrich is familiar with, having done so many occasions over a star-studded 4-year career in track and field. The combined 6-time indoor and outdoor NCAA Division II indoor and outdoor national qualifier was a 2-time All-American, placing 5th with the 4x100 meter relay outdoors in 2000 and 8th outdoors in the pole vault in 2002. Wuthrich has the distinction as the program's first women's pole vault All-American and has held McMury school records in the 55-meter dash, the pole vault, and is part of the 4x400 meter relay indoors and the 4x100 and 4x400 meter relays and the pole vault outdoors, as well as the American Southwest Conference Championship's highest height at one time. A 3-time ASC champion, she looked back at her glowing career by remarking, coming in 5th in the 4x100 at Nationals in 2000 and becoming an All-American for the first time is something I'll never forget. I missed out on the national meet in 1999 due to a season-ending injury, so it's good to be back and have a strong and healthy season. There are so many people that gave me the opportunities to succeed like I did, she added. That list includes 3 special coaches. Ricky Paris was the one whose first thought I could be a good pole vaulter, and he taught me everything he knew about it. He showed up every day as a volunteer because he loved pole vault and McMury. And then he and his family became my second family while in Abilene, keeping me well supplied with his famous peanut butter cookies. Barbara Krausen also pushed me to be the best I could be and was willing to work with my schedule so that I could do as many things as possible. She didn't just give us a workout plan to follow, but explained the bigger picture of the whole plan and why it was designed the way it was designed. This helped me in my short coaching career and in writing my personal workouts after college. Now, she might forget your name the week of nationals and conference, but she will always remember it, and she will forever thought I would be 20 years later. She still cares about all of us, as if we were still running for her. We were never a means to an end for her. We were part of her family from day one. And Mike Bigham was my teammate for 3 years, then became my coach his senior year when his eligibility was up. I thought he was obnoxious the first 2 years I knew him, but he grew on me and became a great friend and someone I admire. Wuthrich currently owns her own photography and design business in Grayford, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm Alakumba welcome to Cheyenne Oldham Wuthrich.
They didn't tell me I was running anchor leg today. And that 55 record, for the record, Talitha came and beat it a week later, so it's a very short record. But I'm very honored to be here today with all of you. Congratulations to everyone else who's here today. Run as fast as you can and don't slow down until you cross the white line. Those were the instructions from my high school coach, Kenneth Shields, my freshman year of high school, at the first track meet that I'd ever run. So I did just that. I ran as hard and as fast as I could, and I leaned across that white line in first place, only to watch 1 or 2 other girls sprint past me. That's when I realized there wasn't 1, but 2 white lines near the finish line. I'd leaned across the wrong one. From that day forward, Coach Shields just said, don't slow down until you get to the curve. Stuck to that the rest of my career. My high school had just started the track program that freshman year, and we didn't have a track of any kind to practice on. So the very first time I had ever even been on a track was this first race. So needless to say, Coach Shields and I both had a lot to learn about track that year. That day, I never imagined that that first race would take me to so many places, including bringing me here today. In the years that followed, Coach Shields took it upon himself to learn as much as he could about track to make sure that I could be as successful as possible. My junior year, he mentioned that the UIL was talking about adding pole vault to the girls' program, and that if they did, he said I should try it, because he said, there's not going to be many girls doing it, and we might can get you to state that way. They never did add it while I was in high school, but that seed had been planted, and it would later be given a chance to grow. I would get to be a part of another new track program, or 4 years after that first race as a freshman in a new track program, I would get to be part of another new track program as a freshman here at McMury. I came here originally looking to play basketball and kind of decided I almost accidentally went to Hardin-Simmons. But they didn't have a track program, and I decided I also wanted to do track. And I found out McMury was going to be starting it my freshman year, so I came here. And the decision to add a track program at Sam Norwood and here at McMury led to some of the greatest memories and accomplishments in my life. From those beginning, I was able to become a 2-time All-American as a sprinter and a pole vaulter, a conference champion, set school and American Southwest Conference records, and become the first female All-American pole vaulter in school history, as well as getting to have the unforgettable experience of being part of the inaugural track team that laid the foundation for the strong McMury track tradition, which continues still today. As a decision to bring back track here at McMury, though, led to many successes, so did the decision to start that track team at Sam Norwood, as I'm only one of 2 athletes from that school with no track being inducted today. Striker Pena is also being inducted with the 2012 men's team later on this morning. Coach Krausen used to always ask me how I ended up running college track, coming from a high school without a track. And I think by the time she'd had Striker, she just decided that there's something special about being a Sam Norwood Eagle. I couldn't agree more with that statement, and congratulations to the 2012 men's team that's here today as well. In the fall of 1998, we had our first track team meeting. It was here that I met Coach Ricky Paris for the first time. After it was over, he asked me if I'd like to learn to pole vault. And I said, why not? And the rest of it is history. Unfortunately, that's also the question that made me make the decision to not play basketball and track and just focus on track. At the same first track meeting, Coach Crossan handed us a list of goals for our next 4 years. I still have that list. They were graduate from McMury, maintain a 3.0 GPA or better, individual improvement, conference championship, and national championship. We met the challenge and ended up with 4 conference championships and ended up being the national runners-up our senior year in 2002, which is still the highest finished in program history. I'm proud to be sharing this day with that same team from 2002, so congratulations to the 2002 women's team. Yeah. Coach Paris worked hard the next 4 years to teach me everything that he knew about pole vault, which is a lot. He did this daily after he spent a long day teaching junior high kids, and if you've ever taught junior high, you know that those are really long days. One of the most important lessons, though, that I think he really taught me was to always end practice on something good, no matter how small it was, just to go home with that positive note in your mind. And that's something that I really still use today in almost anything that I do. But not only were his coaching skills top-notch, no one comes close to his famous peanut butter cookies. I don't know how many others of you have had those cookies, but they're pretty good. He kept me well supplied in cookies for 4 years, which is what I'm pretty sure made me so fast. I remember one time he brought some out to practice, and I wasn't quite finished with my workout yet, so I ran my last 2 100s of the day with a peanut butter cookie in each hand. Thank goodness Coach Edwards didn't notice that. He didn't always agree with my snacking habits. The work to become a good vaulter, though, didn't end during the season. It continued on through the summers as well. One summer, Angela Parks and I decided to get some vaulting in on a really hot summer day out on the track, kind of out on our own. We didn't need any coaches that day. Coach Paris had told us before that we should kind of pick a spot on the mat and try to aim for it, so we'd be kind of consistent with our landings. And we thought, well, it'd be a lot easier to do that if we had a target. So we decided to go off to Walmart, buy us a blow-up pool, fill it up with water, stick it right there on that spot we wanted to hit on the mat, and pole vault into that so we'd have a visual target. By the time we had done all of those things, we got to thinking this might not be the best idea we've probably ever had. So after a little discussion, we said, yeah, it's probably not. So track spikes in a blow-up pool, that's probably not a good idea. So we took our track spikes off and vaulted barefoot into the pool for the rest of the day. I don't know how much we accomplished that day, but we sure did have a lot of fun. And these are just a few of the many moments I remember most from my 4 years here at McMury. Not to say it was all play and no work. Practices were always really hard and long, but they were never boring. And we all pushed each other to be our best every day, but we had a lot of fun doing it, and we all became very close friends through the years. And there are several people throughout the years that contributed in some way to my success as an athlete. My husband, Derek, is one of those. He was then and remains today supportive of all my crazy adventures and dreams. He sat through many track meets while I was here at McMury, even though he had baseball practices and games of his own during the week. He was my biggest supporter here. We even met for the very first time at the Indian Relays when he came to watch me compete. And even though our daughter Zena wasn't here at the time, there was one person here at McMury that knew exactly what she was going to be like, and that was Doc Hadley. When Doc found out that Derek and I were interested in meeting each other, he got really excited and even embarrassed me in front of his class one day. But he came up and he told me, he's like, your kids are going to be short, smart, strong, and really fast. At that time, I hadn't even spoken a word to Derek, but he described Zena perfectly 12 years before she was born. The only part he didn't predict that was she was going to think she was a cat about 50% of the time. But I'm glad to have been one of the women to help pave the way in a sport that wasn't available to girls when I was younger, so that she will now have those opportunities for herself in the future. I love that she talks about becoming a pole vaulter one day, and I've got Coach Paris and Brad on standby to teach her, so get ready. My mom and dad always supported my dreams and goals in life and encouraged me to follow them, even when they weren't totally sure about them. I know when I called home and said, I'm going to become a pole vaulter, first thing they said is, you're going to get hurt. Well, I got hurt worse in the mile relay than pole vault, so that turned out to be okay. But they never discouraged me from doing it, and then I think they finally decided that it was a lot more fun to drive down to Abilene and watch an hour-long competition rather than a 12-second race. My brothers Jeremy and Clayton played a big part in shaping me as an athlete. I give my older brother Jeremy full credit for making me tough. He never let me win at anything, and that just made me more determined to beat him. In fact, I'm pretty sure he cheated most of the time, and I think Zena would agree with that. But as we got older, he became one of my biggest fans. And Clayton was quite a few years younger than us, so he continually got dragged to all of our mini sporting events, but he never complained about it. He always kept me on my toes because there's no way I can let my little brother beat me. And eventually he did get faster than me, but at least I wasn't living in the house anymore when it happened. My high school coaches, Kenneth Shields, Ralph Decker, and Russell Schaub, always pushed me to be the best I could be at any sport I played. And I mentioned Coach Paris previously, but I can't leave out the rest of the Paris family. They were my second family while I was here in Abilene. I shared many dinners of grilled chicken and desserts of peanut butter cookies with them. Pug was my academic advisor and my biggest fan, and Brad has always been a close friend, workout partner, and mentor to me. Our work in the weight room over the summers and during the season made me a much better athlete and gave me the confidence I needed to take my pole vaulting to the next level. I really could have done without his NSYNC playlist, though. Mike Bigham started out as a great teammate, then later a great coach. He was one of many who helped me become an All-American pole vaulter. He has since become one of the best six-man football coaches in the state of Texas, even though he once told me he would never coach six-man. Coach Jim Edwards always brought an infectious and positive attitude to our team at practice and at every meet. And lastly, I'd like to thank Coach Barbara Krausen for setting high standards and making sure that we lived up to them on and off the track. She worked us hard in practice, but also made sure we had a lot of fun while we were out there. Anyone who knows her knows that her jokes are legendary. Without her taking the leap to coach this unknown college team, consisting of a bunch of unknown college athletes, none of us would be here with such a successful story and McMury wouldn't have the track tradition that it has today. I'm truly honored to be in the company of such great McMury athletes as Grant Taft, Herschel Kimbrell, the entire Paris family, Talitha Belcher, Dartell Edwards, Coach Barbara Krausen, and many, many others. I'm thankful for the opportunities, experiences, and friendships I gained by being a McMury Indian. Today's a great day I will forever remember. Being a McMury track athlete has given me the confidence and the tools needed to take on all life's great adventures. It has taught me to never turn down an opportunity to try or learn something new because you never know where it might lead you in life. Taking a chance on learning something I had never tried led me here today. I've spent my time since leaving McMury experiencing as much of life as possible, and I encourage each of you to do the same. Take the adventure, learn something new, try new things no matter what your age or place in life, because as my favorite quote from Warren Miller says, if you don't do it this year, you'll be another year older when you do.
Now we meet our 2022 Bob and Clara Brown and Grant Taft Beyond the Game honorees. The Bob and Clara Brown Award recognizes individuals who have had undying support from McMury University and its athletic programs on and off the playing field. This year's award goes to Art Pertile, class of 1983, and Renita King. They are consistent supporters of McMury University athletics. Renita and Art met while obtaining their law degrees from the University of Texas School of Law in Austin. They have two children, Chrissica Harper of Austin and Art Pertile IV of the Houston, Texas area. Now, Renita retired from ConocoPhillips Company in 2018 after a 31-year career that included roles of senior counsel, business services group lead, materials and services supervisor, and various other leadership roles in the legal and procurement functions. She is a triple major graduate of Rice University. Rice University. Triple major. I'm impressed. And also, she's got a graduate of the United Way's Project Blueprint program while attending Rice. Renita was on the dean's list, obviously. Art is a member of McMury University's Board of Trustees, the 2018 McMury University Distinguished Alumnus Award recipient, a 2003 McMury University Hall of Honor inductee, served on the McMury University Alumni Board, and was the 2022 McMury University Commencement Speaker. He was an All-American in track and won 3 individual conference championships and 5 conference championships as a member of relay teams. He was the conference most valuable player and conference freshman of the year. He was twice named as McMury University's track team's top performer and twice named the track team's most inspirational performer. He was a member of McMury student government. He has a lengthy list of awards that he has won for all the service work that he has done in various communities. Art is a partner and owner of Olson & Olson LLP. He has represented governmental entities and public officials exclusively for over 32 years. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm round of applause for the 2022 Bob and Clara Brown awardees, Art Pertile and Renita King.
Okay, we're going to try to be short because I know no one wants to hear 2 lawyers get up and talk. So what I do want to say is that it was 39 years ago when I walked across this stage to receive my diploma here from McMury, and that 39 years have been the best 39 years of my life. I mean, for those of you who are newly graduates and you're here, you receive these great athletic honors, I will tell you that the most important part of my life outside of my family and the most important part to me professionally has been what I developed here at McMury. And I can tell you if McMury has been been such a great part of me. The things I learned here at McMury, the skill set and the people that I met have made me the success in my profession that I always hoped I would be. In less than 2 months from now, I'll be retiring at 62 years old, and I'm not going to do another thing. and I'm just telling you that because it was McMury, and I always like to say that we need to have a plan. And my daughter is the one that taught me this. That you need to have a plan, not for when you're 22, but when you're 62. Where do you want to be when you're 62? Well, I tell you this, as a little boy from Midland, Texas, a stutterer, there's no way in the world that I would envision myself being here at 62. And I shouldn't be here at 62. But McMury put me here. The things and the people I ran into at McMury, that's what put me here. I only came to McMury because my best friend was playing basketball here, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. I was a decent track athlete. I was being recruited by Division I schools, Baylor, so I'm riding with my friend Ernest Merritt, who's a McMury graduate. I'm riding with him to go and visit McMury. So we're riding there, and I'm going with him. We get in McMury. He likes McMury. He wants to attend McMury. And as we're riding back, I'm saying, I'm gonna go with you. Now, I just come off a visit from McNeese State down in Lake Charles. I visited Baylor. I visited A&M. I said, I'm coming with you. So when I get there, I get back to Midland. I'm working at the hamburger stand, and I get a call. It's the track coach, Coach Hart from Baylor. Say, Art, I sent that paperwork, you sign it and send it back. I said, no, Coach, I'm gonna go to McMury. He said, McMury? I said, yes, I'm going to McMury. He said, you deciding to go to McMury is like somebody getting an offer from the New York Yankees and signing with the Midland Cubs. So I'm listening to him, and I said, well, Coach, I got some orders coming in, so I got to let you go. and I hung up on him. So you flash forward 20, 25 years or so later, and guess what? I'm the city attorney for the city of Waco. And as city attorney for the city of Waco owns the track where Baylor track used to be. And so they're getting ready to name the track after Coach Hart, but they got to get the city permission. So, so we're sitting in this meeting, and I'm the city attorney. We're sitting in this meeting. Well, can the city, legally name it after Coach Hart? So we're sitting in this meeting, and so I'd say, "How you doing, Coach?" And he's looking at me. He said, "I know you from somewhere." I said, "Yes, you do." I said, "When you recruited me back in '79." He said, "Oh yeah. I must didn't do a good job." I said, "No, you didn't." I said, "But there was nothing that you could have done, because where I went to McMury is Baylor can't match it." And for those of you who know me and how I feel about McMury, I'm one of those McMury people that's way over the top. There's no school, I don't care where you went, you can't match McMury. My wife got 3 degrees at the same time at Rice, and she wasn't good enough to go to McMury. In my mind, one of the most recent discussions that we had, because we can't have arguments because I lose, and so one of the recent discussions that we had was on our curb, when you paint your little school sign on the curb, about whether Rice or McMury was going to go first. I'm like, oh, McMury's always first. To me, McMury's always first. Just so happened she was there when they did it. So you look on our curb, there's Rice. But I say that, and I'm gonna end here pretty quick. Is that McMury is not a place; it's the place. And at McMury, right now, my relationship with the people here at McMury, when I came here, there's a guy here that never coached me one day, 1 minute, not even the same sport, who I refer to as my coach. He refers to me as his player. That's Coach Herschel Kibble. basketball coach, Kimball Arena named after him. One of the things you don't know about that man led the integration of sports in the state of Texas. He and Grant Taft, they did that. They helped me be able to go to school at places that I wanted to go to school. University of Texas, McMury, that man did that. If you ever ask him about it, he's not going to say a word. That man there, the whole time I was running track, he was the basketball coach. All he ever talked about, all right, how your grades doing? Where you think you're going to law school? What you going to do in life? The basketball coach. That's what McMury athletics. It doesn't matter which sport you played here at McMury. You're from McMury. You're from McMury, you're a family. And one of my other heroes in life, not just in sports, in life, is sitting right out there today, Pug Paris. That video will be greater than her, period. And today, those of you who've been up and through the time Pug's come through, every one of you know she's touched your life. And she touched mine constantly and consistently from day one. First day I showed up on campus, I meet Pug Paris. Say, how you doing? I didn't know. You're an athlete? Yeah, I run track. Where you from? I'm from Midland. Oh, my goodness, homeboy. She's from Stanton. And from that point on, that's been my ace. She's always been my ace. If you ask Pug Paris where I am, she's going to tell you. You ask her where I am in life, she's going to tell you where I am in life. Because Pug Paris, she's going to know where Art Pertile is doing. And I'm going to know what Pug Paris is doing because I love that woman. She's one of my heroes in life, period. I have a lot of heroes, a lot of national, world-class heroes that everybody else would have. But Pug Paris is right there with anybody that's important to me in my life, and that's Pug Paris. And with that, I'll turn over to my wife. So.
Oh. Well, first of all, I just want to say how honored and humbled we are to receive this award. Arthur and I are really not about awards, right? We just do what we do because, one, we believe in doing what's right. We believe in giving back. We believe in giving back to those organizations and people who have been instrumental in our lives. I love this man despite the disparaging remarks that he that he made earlier. We'll deal with that later. But I will say that the first day that I set foot on UT Law School's campus, I met him. He was an upperclassman who was participating in an orientation program for freshmen coming into the law school. So I met him and others. He didn't particularly stand out for me that day, nor did I stand out for him. However, as time would pass, we got to know each other better and realized that we shared a love of God, a love of family, community, and education. And those are core for us in terms of who we are, how we approach everyday life, how we approach our giving, how we approach how we spend our time and our money. Those are core values for us. And so I am deeply honored to be here. I will confess, and he knows it's a running joke between us, when we compared notes as to where we had gone to college, I told him, I said, Mac who? Because I had not heard of McMury, and I'm being honest, I'm a native Texan, and I had not heard of McMury. Well, rest assured, some 32 years later of our marriage, I know a whole lot about McMury. And I love McMury as well. I mean, it's infectious, right? So every time I set foot on this campus, I love it more and more because I know what McMury has done for my husband and for us as a family. I know what McMury has done for countless others who have crossed our paths that he has mentored and encouraged to come here, to do well here. So I'm deeply honored and appreciative of this opportunity to stand before you and just say how truly grateful I am that we have been able to be a blessing to the school and to the students who are here. and in years past and in years to come. It is a blessing to be a blessing. I also want to just give credit to the school for honoring my husband. I grew up in a traditional Black Baptist church, and one of the old hymns that they used to sing, I say they because they were old. This was older people and I'm a kid. But the song was, "Give me my flowers while I yet live." And I used to sing along and think, oh, well, that's cute. What does that mean? And I'm, 6, 7, 8 years old, and I learned the words and all. But I as I've gotten older, and as we've lost so many friends and family over the last few years, the significance of those words and that song really hit home. So I truly, truly appreciate that McMury is honoring my husband while he's still here to enjoy this time and to enjoy those accolades. We are not, like I said, we are not people who are about rewards and awards, but it is nice. I mean, you're human, and it is nice for someone, some organization to show appreciation. And so thank you from the bottom of our hearts for this and for this honor. And, to God be the glory for what he has done and what he continues to do through us and with us. Thank you.
The Grand Tap Beyond the Game Award is given annually to an individual who has gone on to remarkable things as a postgraduate, well, after having been a Warhawk student athlete who may not have made headlines during his or her career. This year, we recognize posthumously Mike Rosenberg, class of 1972, a Hall of Honor member. Mike was an all-Lone Star Conference gridiron selection during the NCAA Division II days and also garnered UPI All-Texas Team honors. Upon graduating from college, Mike taught and coached for the Era ISD and Callisburg ISD, then worked for Northwest ISD as an assistant principal. He later joined Sanger ISD as administrator, and after serving over 10 years, Mike then moved back to his hometown to be the Gainesville ISD superintendent. And after that period of time, he served in that role for 10 years. I checked that, 6 years before he was later elected to represent the community on the Gainesville School Board from 2011 to 2020. Mike was obsessed with sports, reading books about military and American history, playing the guitar, painting miniature battle scenes, and praising, of all teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was the proudest papa, showing off pictures and stories of Witten and Ellie Grace to anyone who would listen. Mike was known for his deep voice, quick wit, his amazingly kind heart, and a lifelong disgust of the Dallas Cowboys. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, a warm round of applause for the 2022 Grant Taft Beyond the Game awardee, the late Mike Rosenberg. Unfortunately, Mike's family unable to attend today's ceremony. They are watching online, so once again, congratulations to Mike. We will conclude the 2022 McMury University Athletic Hall of Honor ceremony by inducting the 2002 Women's Track and Field team, the 2011 football team, and the 2012 men's track and field teams. Now, the 2002 women's track team jumped standout Darcel Edwards won the triple jump and was runner-up in the long jump to help start off head coach Barbara Krausen's team to runner-up honors at the NCAA Division III championships at Macalester College in Minnesota. Now, there was plenty of news on the track that weekend in the Twin Cities. The 4x100-meter relay quartet of Crystal Early, Kelly Brown, Talila Harmon, and Talitha Belcher took home championship honors and registered the best time in the nation that season at 46.87 seconds. Belcher nearly made it a double-double for national titles, battling then freshman phenom Missy Israel of Carthage College of Wisconsin to the wire in the 100 final that was decided by 0.04 of a second. She became a three-time All-American with a fourth-place finish in the 200, as Brown picked up her second All-American award of the meet by placing 7th in the event. Brown came back for a third All-American status of her own in the 400, placing 4th. Belcher's time of 11.75 in the 100, which occurred at Nationals, still stands as the outdoor school record. Now, if we could have Barbara Krausen come up to the stage. And members of that team who are with us today, Talitha Belcher Alexander, Stephanie Flores Brown, Kelly Moeller-Dixon, Bethany Graham, Coach Luke Hurst, Crystal Early Loomis, Yvonne Silva Mungia, Adrian Kerbo Ruffin, Sunny Shore Strickland, and last but not least, Cheyenne Oldham Wuthrich. And Mike Bigham as well. Let's give a warm Alakumba welcome to the 2002 Women's Track and Field team. The 2011 football team, under the guidance of legendary head coach Hal Mumme, Warhawks gave fans in the big country plenty to cheer about that fall. It started with the program's first win over an NCAA Division I opponent when McMury stunned the gridiron world by toppling FBS University of Texas at San Antonio 24-21 at the Alamo Dome. Just over a week removed from a, well, frankly, less than memorable throttling at the hands of NCAA FCS power Stephen F. Austin, quarterback Jake Mullen connected with wide receiver Delphonte Diamond with only 16 seconds left to shock a crowd of better than 35,000 inside the Alamo Dome. The Warhawks Cinderella roll didn't end there. A week later, at American Southwest Conference, perennial power Mary Hardin-Baylor in Belton, a two-point conversion try late in the contest was stopped by the crew to preserve a narrow 28-27 win over McMury. But from that point on, Mumme's men reeled off 8 straight victories, which included topping fellow Division III in-state rival and top 15 ranked Trinity University on the road in the first round of the NCAA Division III playoffs. McMury then took another shot at UMHB in the second round, but was stopped 49-20, but still a 9-3 campaign, which ranks among the best in school history. And among those, we have Kendall Robertson, who was an assistant coach on that team, if he could come up at this time. Members of that team also included, who are here today, Derek Baeza. Go on up. Hint, hint. Daquan Bratcher. Carrie Gamble. Come on up. Landry Gunter. Kyle Kelly. Jake Mullen. Stephen Warren. And Simeon Neal. All right, a round of applause to this 2011 football team. Not only beating a Division I team, but also the last one to beat Hardin-Simmons. And now the 2012 men's track and field team. If Barbara could come back up. Her Warhawks won their second national championship in 5 seasons outdoors and battled to a top 10 mark for a third time in the same span indoors. A combined 5 school records still stand by that team: the 4x100 relay and Junior St. Pro in the 110-meter hurdles, and Kenneth Turner in the 60-meter dash, Kevin Cunningham in the 400-meter dash, and St. Pro in the 60-meter hurdles made those marks. The year will be forever remembered for the national championship trophy won at Claremont Mud Scripps in late May. Krause and Warhawks were not to be denied, claiming the top spot by 19 points. Paul Davis, who was the shot put national champion, Everett Miller, 4th place in the triple jump, Gavin Bass, 7th place in the long jump, 4x100-meter relay team of Josh Bolton, Trevor Oldham, Bass, Turner were the national champions. St. Pro in the 110-meter high hurdles was the runner-up. Cunningham was the national champion in the 400 meters. Oldham took 3rd place in the 200 meters, and Turner finished 5th in the 100 meters, brought home all-American accolades. Members of that team who are here: Jaquan Austin. He could come on up. Okay. Kevin Cunningham. Coach Jerry Johnson. John Keith. Trayvon Odom. Christopher Ogle. He wanted to be here. Striker Pena. Junior St. Pro. That was a shorter trip. Marcus Thompson. Kenneth Turner. Eric Yoakum. Chelsea Martinez. And two additional men who I don't have on the list, I'm sorry. One more warm round of applause for this national championship team. That wraps up our 2022 McMury University Athletics Hall of Honor ceremony. Congratulations to all of the inductees and special award designees. Don't forget Warhawk Volleyball currently underway over at Kimbrell Arena as we speak, and the football game at 4 o'clock this afternoon against Hardin Simmons. And there will be a special halftime ceremony honoring everyone on the field at Wilford Moore Stadium later this afternoon. Now let's call upon Bill Libby, and he'll conclude our program. If we could all stand for this.